Welcome to Spoofers, the podcast where we talk about random things.
Cool deal. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have another guy come back today that he's just kind of like a glutton for punishment. Really awesome guy. You know him as Smitty, the airline pilot, the Mr. International, I believe that's what he was dubbed. And he, he's personally great friend of mine. And I just have to say it is an honor for him to say that he wants to come back on this show.
Let's talk about buttered sausage. Talk about buttered sausage, where it comes from, what it does. Why is it doing what it's doing? Get it out of my face. What about buttered sausage?
That's not your jam. It's not your thing. You don't like it?
It's not my jam. I don't buy jam. I buy honey, and I kiss it on the lips.
So I have no idea why he would want to come back on this show. I will say that it was probably this show's first PG episode, I guess you could say. We kept that one really PG. And gosh, I just kind of rambled right on. But, we're going to go ahead and introduce, Gary Smith on the show. Gary, man, thank you. And welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for having me back. And I'm happy to do more PG shows because, I want my grandkids to listen to what's going on.
Absolutely. That and I want to say with your show, so whenever I do the uploads and I do all the other stuff, it says if it is, all right, but especially on the YouTube side, because I don't really promote the YouTube side a whole lot, but it always asks, is this made for kids? And I'm like, it ain't quite made for kids, but I don't have to it doesn't have to be plus 18.
Right.
So, and it actually, I was kind of like, wow, that's the first time I actually had to think about it for a second. Like, is this made for kids? Like, no, it ain't made for kids, but this doesn't have to be explicit, content for a change, because we know whenever I had his name was OG Goldie on the show, he was, he's a great guy. I love Paul more than he's a great guy, great friend. He is a little touch on the vulgar side,
I would have to agree with you.
But really great guy. I love Paul. Like, he's such a great guy. He wants to come back on the show again. He talks about it all the time, and it's, he's on a whole nother level than what I am. I know that I am not a clean cut Christian, perfect mouth type by any means, but he got me beat.
Yeah, neither am I. Just if I'm in the shop and the tools aren't working right on certain cars, and you're trying to get something done, and actually the most painful thing I did in my shop was run a screwdriver underneath the fingernail.
Oh, I've been there. Yep.
I might have cussed like a sailor.
I want to say one of at least the most memorable moments that I have with a screwdriver is on the old Chevrolet vehicles. You had to use a hammer and a screwdriver to break the fuel pump loose at the top.
Okay.
And I was doing something, not paying attention. I'm sure I was talking to somebody. Talking to someone,
doesn't sound good.
Listen to the radio or something, whatever. And I put my hand down to hold this flathead screwdriver, and I reach back and I smack the hammer, and I don't know what I was even thinking, but that screwdriver goes into my hand, goes out the other side, and I'm like, shh. And then on top of that, you got all the dirt and fuel and everything else, and I'm like, ouch. There was a couple of choice words that was involved, but I remember that was probably one of the most painful things I think you can see where there is an exit wound right here still where a snap-on flathead screwdriver decided to no longer do what it was designed to do.
I remember my son-in-law and I, when I ran that fingernail, or the screwdriver under my fingernail, my son-in-law and I were working on either my wife's old car, daughter's new car called the Pumpkin. It's an orange Subaru. Well, we were working on his Toyota Tacoma. We were doing something around the brakes and the brake hub. And about this exact same thing happened.
Yeah.
Except I think I did it to myself. I think I was pushing with one hand and holding with another hand, and it slipped.
Oh, man.
And it was very painful.
To say the least, yeah, it's the screwdriver, because it's not like it's a sharp object. It's very blunt at the end, and when it goes, like, I would rather if I was going to get stabbed by a knife, I think I'd rather get stabbed by a sharp knife compared to a butter knife.
Right.
And so you were comparing and it's like a butter knife. Yeah.
I don't want to be stabbed at all, but it was not pleasant, and I understood why because I'm military, and one of the things they did to prisoners of war was they ripped your fingernails off. So
God.
and it was a way not to disfigure you because the fingernail would grow back, but there are so many nerves at the end of, from fine detail to the end of our fingers, and even the fingernails, incredibly painful when you damage them.
I mean, the fingernails that I have, I will agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So-
100% on that one. Yeah. So you've since the last time we've been on the show, you've had a couple of more international flights, correct?
I have. I've been to Japan, Korea. Is Maui considered international? It's not.
No, because even though it's in the middle of the ocean,
Yeah.
it's still. I mean, but it's like another country, though. I guess you could say.
Well, it's USA, but it's an island. There are 5 wonderful islands out in the Pacific that American Airlines serves, and it's one of my favorite destinations because you land, you're 20 minutes from the airport in small town USA.
Okay, Hawaii. I was reading that there's actually a forbidden island in Hawaii.
Yes.
And I forget the name of it, but a family owns this island,
I believe so.
and they keep it restricted from outsiders.
Yep. I think I read an article that they could let people on for a day to see it, but then you're off at the end of the day. No, there's really no accommodations. It is true Hawaiian living in the sense that I don't think they have electricity or running water. I'm not sure though.
So I did a little research one day, and I want to say that they have a visitors section that you have to get special permission to
I agree.
visit, and they don't normally don't allow people to go visit. But there's a certain section that you can go and spend a day if you're approved to go to it, which has to get approved by whoever is actually the town, or I'm going to call it a town because there's only like 150 people that live on this island, and it has to get approved by that, and it has to get approved by the family that owns this island. But there's the running water is what they have built themselves. So the running water and sanitation is everything that they have built themselves, but it is a straight farm subsidiary type living. There is there is nothing else. And I just find that you don't really hear about that in the world. I mean, there's a couple of islands that you still hear about stuff like that, but it's just Hawaii, how the family that owns that could probably sell that place for billions of dollars, and the family could turn it into this massive resort place, because it's the picture that I've seen is actually a beautiful island.
I believe it is. And while you were describing it, I pulled out my portable brain.
I'm getting fact checked here.
That would be the interwebs. Oh no, it's not a fact check at all.
Oh, okay.
Say, what's the name of the island?
Okay, copy that.
So the show's becoming more factual, based on AI. It says the Hawaiian island that is remote and accessible only by invitation is, and I'm going to spell it first, and then I'm going to try to pronounce it because my Hawaiian is no bueno.
Okay.
It's spelled Ni'ihau, Ni'ihau, often referred to as the Forbidden Isle. It's privately owned and has very few residents, with strict rules regarding visitors, which is exactly what you just said.
Oh, okay. Well, heck, they're going to be retaining information. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's Ni'ihau, I think. And for those of you from Hawaii that are listening to this podcast, please forgive me butchering the pronunciation of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But I want to say, like, they don't really have. There's no imports really. There's no exports. There's The family has a airport there, and they do bring certain supplies there, but it isn't like it's something crazy. Like I was reading about it, and I was like, this it is totally fascinates me that people will still choose to live this way in the time that we live in, which and actually it don't really sound that bad.
And I think there's another island, and if there's any Hawaiian folks that are listening to this, they can correct me if I'm wrong. After World War II, for the defense of the nation, since Hawaii is it's the last state that I can remember that that came into the United States, they used one of the islands for bomb practice.
Yes.
And there were so many there was so much unexploded ordnance on the island. And again, I don't know what island it is, but it's also uninhabited for a reason, because there's too much unexploded ordnance on the island.
Oh gosh, I forget. I know I was reading about that as well. And yeah, I was reading that it is a restricted island because they were using that for bombing practice, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And I would go, oh my gosh, that's just wild. So if you really think about that, like, that is crazy. And
I'm going to look it up and see if I can find the name while you keep talking.
Sure. Okay, another fun deal. So I didn't realize that the atomic bomb if you just drop an atomic bomb out of a plane, it don't do anything, I guess, to activate it. It will do absolutely nothing. And I had this gentleman that I used to work with. His name was Al. And I worked at the O'Reilly Auto Parts. And when I was in college, and he was a very older gentleman. And he was a delivery driver there, just something for him to kill the time. And I remember him telling me how there were certain planes that the United States had, and they're always going around the globe at all times, and they were carrying the atomic bomb. And one day there was a malfunction outside of Paris. The atomic bomb drops out of a plane and lands outside of Paris. But luckily it wasn't activated.
Right.
Whatever the procedure is to make it a bomb.
Yeah, well, I believe there's radioactive material in it, but in order to push the radioactive material together hard enough, there's actually an explosive charge all the way around it. And
before it's dropped.
Right.
Yes.
And then when it's dropped, there's typically a proximity fuse. They determine how high above the ground it's going to detonate. And when they detonate it, the explosive on the outside pushes the uranium together to make the atomic explosion. So there's a typical TNT explosion, but then there's the
big boom.
Yeah, there's the big boom after that. Yeah.
I just remember Al telling me this, and he was like, man, can you imagine though if that thing actually went off outside of Paris and then all of a sudden it has the United States bombed Paris on accident? Can you imagine the backlash on that one? Like, yeah, that'd be something else, wouldn't it?
Oops.
That's a heck, my bad. Didn't mean to do that. Sorry, France. I understand your national flag is the surrender flag, but that's an our bad, you know. But I will say, so still going on Hawaii. I want to say that you said you are an avid dirt track racer. They have a dirt track in Maui.
I believe they do.
And they race, the little tuner, the little bang bangers. And Maui also has a drag strip there.
Okay. Yeah, they do have a drag strip, and that drag strip actually is between the airport and the little town of Kihei, which is where our hotel is.
Okay.
And not only that, if you drive that road, it used to be fields of sugarcane on either side. So if you're driving to Kihei from the airport on the left side, which would be, I'm thinking about my directions. You're driving, I think, to the west. To your left is the old sugarcane plant. Beyond that, you'll begin to see Army National Guard. And on the right side, there's a building there a structure that used to be the old control tower for the World War II airplanes, and a runway was on the right side. They put in a new paved runway, again, back on the left side, on the same side the Army Reserve unit's on. That's the drag strip,
Oh, okay.
because you can see it on the arrival, but I haven't seen the dirt track.
Okay.
So, and my portable brain came through again. Kahu'olawe is the Hawaiian island that has faced significant environmental challenges due to its history as a bomb range and training ground in World War II.
Interesting.
It's spelled Kahoolawe.
Right on.
Olawe.
Okay. Right on. Right on.
Cool.
Okay. Hey,
There is another island.
copy that. It's more Forbidden Islands.
Trivia on Hawaiian Islands for
Yes. And I want to say
Ken.
there's on the Forbidden Islands, I want to say, so there is an island in the Atlantic between Brazil and South America. I want to say it's like 3,500 kilometers
Okay.
apart from each. And it's a British territory, and it has, I want to say I was reading that it has maybe 250 people or something like that. But can you imagine, they do get Amazon shipments there. I did see that. They do get Amazon shipments there, but there is no airport there. Everything has to be gone there by boat.
See a boat.
Yes. But there is an Amazon shipment boat that will deliver to them. So Amazon, Jeff Bezos did a solid for those guys. Yeah. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I don't know it'd be so neat to live totally secluded like that. They do have Wi-Fi.
Yep.
And apparently they have a lot of lamb, because lamb is great to eat, as you know as well.
I have some experience.
Yeah, if you have experience with the lamb, and you're like the lamb plug here in Waxahachie.
And I'm going to plug it again since you said that. If you haven't been to the D restaurant, there's one restaurant in town, and probably the only restaurant in town, that serves pasture-raised lamb, and it's the D restaurant, Latin cuisine. Sarah and Carlos there do a bang-up job. Shout out to Sarah and Carlos. And if you ever, if anyone out there in podcast land wants some lamb from Waxahachie, we deliver to College Station, where my kids live, and my grandson. And we'll work with either USDA or a non-USDA butcher. And if you want lamb in the Waxahachie area, come by Railport and ask anybody for Smitty's contact information. And you can go to americanblackbelly@gmail.com and just send me an email.
americanblackbelly@gmail.com, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if they wanted to order lamb, you said, hey, I want to order a rack of lamb.
Right. I've done
Just
that before to a
Send you an email, and
delivered it down to Bryan College Station.
that's service with a smile, That is service.
Yeah.
So so on the subject of lamb, there is a new butcher here in Waxahachie.
Yes, the
Blind Pig. And I went there last week.
840 Farms is where he raises a specific type of pig,
Uh-huh.
and I do sell 840 Farms and the Blind Pig lamb from my farm.
Okay.
When he opened, I didn't have enough. Lamb, by definition, is a sheep that is 1 year old. I did not have enough 1-year-olds to sell him, so he sourced his lamb from another farm. Good for him, because I wanted him to be able to keep his local business open. He's a local farmer just like I am. Jay and Amber DeSimone, and they're awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just saw that, and I went there, and I saw that I was going through it, but I saw leg of lamb and I saw ground lamb, and I was like, hang on. I was going to look to see who it was, if it had American Black Belly on it or not. And I was like, but I got sidetracked because I saw some pepperoni sticks and some Wagyu grade hot dogs.
Wagyu hot dogs, yeah.
Oh my goodness. So talking about a hot dog, I cooked those yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yes, I cooked those yesterday. It was I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a Wagyu hot dog. It's a package of 4, and it was like $20.
Oh gosh.
But I had to buy it. It's a Wagyu hot dog.
Why not?
And
Strong it was.
like I now don't get me wrong. I love Wheezy's Wieners.
Yeah.
That comes by here at the railport. I've seen them around at other places as well. The dude serves a great wiener.
Shout out to Justin and Amy.
Yeah.
And Reese's Wieners. If you haven't tried them yet, there's a wide variety and selection. Come on out.
The dude has every topping you ever thought of. Like, and I mean, I literally ate his wiener before we did the podcast. So to speak. But I cooked those hot dogs yesterday, and that Wagyu hot dog was this. I cooked it on a smoker, I had a little Traeger, cooked that 350, and oh my God, they were amazing. And
Now I have to try one.
I would highly recommend it. And he had some great at the Blind Pig. He had some great beef there as well. Like I went and got me a ribeye, and Robin wanted her a fillet. And what else did I get? I got the hot dogs, I got the steaks, the pepperoni sticks, and didn't he also have like local source bread? Like they had like the bread lady, the sourdough,
Facebook,
and this. Oh, they had like all the salami, and then they had the prosciutto and all because with this pigs and whatnot. And I'm going, I will be broke if I stay here any longer. So I'm going to take these like 4 or 5 items that I got, and I got to get out. And
yeah.
Oh, but it was so good though. But I didn't look to see if it had American Black Belly on the.
I've allowed him to put his farm label on my lambs.
Okay.
I thought about it and I go, is this really a big deal? Should I be putting American Black Belly on? Because one of the things that allowed them to open, I believe, their butcher shop here in town. And I'm pausing because my brain's going into another realm that I'm going to get back to, and I'll
sure.
So just remember the term "another realm," and I'll get back to that. But he was taking. I would deliver our lamb to a USDA facility, which is required if you're going to resale your lamb, and that way a USDA inspector can check the health of the animal before it's slaughtered, make sure it's healthy for the customer who's going to buy it.
Sure.
Costs a little more. It's the way people do business in Texas. So my USDA lamb, he would basically, I'd bring the lamb there. He would do what they call, or what he's doing now is called a kill and chill. So the butcher kills and skins the animal, chill the carcass, and then he as a butcher will cut it after that. It's cheaper for the processing fee. And then he would sell up in a farmer's market to the north of Dallas, where there's a little bit more money coming in the local populace, just north of Dallas in the area.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. The farmer's market up there is a little bit more pricey. And that's good for them because they took the time to drive up there, take their goods up there, and then sell up there. And then all I had to do was really take my animals to the butcher in Malone. It's called Hoosie's. Hoosie's is a USDA facility about 40 minutes away. And he would process the lamb. He would put his label on it, but it was grown on my farm, and our farms are about 2 miles apart. It's all grass-fed. And I could have pushed with him to put my label on it. I was happy he was buying my lamb because I know it's good lamb. So, and he's running a business that I want to succeed in the local area. So anyway, I didn't think it was a big deal. I didn't have my American Black Belly label on that. And in the future, it may or may not. It's not that big a deal. I know that my product's that good. So
I mean, I could see that where I can see both sides of that. Hey, it's mine, but at the same time, if he's selling it, has his label on it, and he goes, hey, I got a whole bunch of requests for lamb, they go to him. Well, you don't have to deal with the customer. He's dealing with the customer. So he'll be like, oh, hey, Smitty, I need like 6 more lamb. Well, brother, let me fix you up real quick. I can kind of see that, him putting his logo, which happens so much in just society. I ain't gonna say society, but like in business, where the third party will put their label on it.
Yep.
And I mean, I to be honest, I mean, certain things like I wish I had like a third party to deal with or a middleman to deal with just so I wouldn't, like right now we're having to get another vehicle for Robin. So, oh yeah, fun story. Okay.
Uh-oh.
She got, I feel so bad for her. Okay. But she had a brand newer vehicle at the beginning of the year. And we had that crazy, oh gosh, what was the term that Kevin used to melt the weather? A microburst.
Yep.
They totaled her vehicle because they got so much hail damage. Totaled her vehicle. And so we went and we're on Facebook. Like, man, we don't want a car payment. Let's go ahead so we can find out in the world of whatever, And so we go and we found a really, really nice older vehicle. It was a 2011, but it was so clean. It was such a nice vehicle. So we bought it. Well, it needed a little bit of work. Great thing I'm a mechanic. I did a little bit of work to it. And got this thing so nice. It was fixed up. There probably wasn't a nicer. It was a GMC Acadia Denali. And it was I bet you there wasn't a nicer one in the state of Texas. And we took my cousin. Oh, is that good, huh? Okay. We'll talk about what he's having here in a second. But so we go and I got this vehicle going into top shape. She spent probably 4 hours cleaning and detailing this vehicle, making it so nice. I grabbed my cousin and we went to Bishop Arts. Went to this awesome speakeasy called Ayahuasca. Really neat Mexican place. I mean, I highly recommend if there's any date night or anyone want to take their wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever you want to call them, take them there. Good experience, really different, but really good food, really good spirits, whatnot. But we went to this arcade in Bishop Arts. Right around the corner. Really neat old school arcade. I think it's called Second Chance. And it has all the old 80s arcade, whatnot. We're playing. We're having a great time. And they had like karaoke going on in the corner. And I kept hearing something. I'm like, man, something don't sound right. And they're like, if you have a white GMC SUV parked in front of the arcade, you need to go take a step outside because your vehicle was just hit. And I'm going, oh no. Oh, this is so bad. This is so bad. And I walk out and I was parallel parked on the side of the street in a parking lot and everything else in a parking spot. And it just gets creamed, man. Like, my heart sank. Like, demolished. And I've been fighting with the insurance for about 3 weeks now. And I had to call yesterday that it was total. And I was just like, all right, so she's going to be on car number 3 in 1 year, and nothing's been her fault.
Right.
I asked her, I was like, it's like, when I raced my sprint car, we would flip, we would do all kinds of stuff. I never went through 3 cars in 1 year. So she has me beat.
I was going to say, I have a 2003 Chevy Cavalier.
You know what? We could she might want a little piece of plexiglass when it gets cold in the morning, so when she's driving to work.
For those of you who don't know, that's my 4-cylinder dirt track racer with a new motor in it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have any windows, and it's probably not street legal because it doesn't have any lights either. So that was just a joke.
See how far, you know what? We might put her in to see how far she can goes, before she gets pulled over, how far can she get,
It's a little loud.
It's a little slightly, I mean, people get over it,
Oh, so what are you looking for now?
Oh, God, I don't know. It was so nice not having a car payment.
No, yeah.
And, like, we were looking at it, and just by not having a car payment, not paying the elevated insurance, all that, like, we were saving about $700 a month.
Yep.
And
Finance 101, folks.
yes.
Do not buy a depreciating asset. And a brand new car is a depreciating asset. And for those who don't know the term depreciating, you spend $1,000 for it one day, and the next day it's only worth $800. And that depreciation continues till you only have half the value of your car. I have almost always bought cars that are at least 3 years old. Why? They've gone through 40% depreciation.
Yes. And when we were younger, she had a used vehicle. And then we started buying, she had family that worked at a Mitsubishi dealer. So we were buying that. Luckily, we were getting a decent deal, but still, it depreciates. I mean, heck, you drive a vehicle off the lot, it done lost 30% of its value. But
Yeah, so don't go to a dealer lot.
correct.
However, so my next vehicle, and I told the wife this before I retire, will be another Toyota Tacoma.
Oh, best vehicle, best truck.
Yeah.
You can get.
So,
I just wish it was more. I wish Toyota made a heavy duty truck so it can haul heavy loads, like a bigger trailer and stuff.
that's
Like, I wish they made like
bigger, though.
I wish they made like a 1-ton truck.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I wish they made a 1-ton truck.
We'll make half ton.
Yes, they make half, and they do a great job.
Yep.
God, there's not a Toyota hands down like the best car, best truck, best SUV, best everything you can even get.
I'll argue that Honda's right up there, but
Honda is up there.
Yeah.
I don't think they're a Toyota. Now Honda makes some cool vehicles, you know.
Yeah.
I mean like the Civic SI, really cool vehicle. Toyota don't have nothing like that.
So,
But I was talking about, like, if you want to buy a vehicle that's going to run 400,000 and you don't have to worry about it, yeah, go buy a Toyota.
Toyota or Honda.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Honda's going to be cheaper.
Yeah.
Honda will be cheaper. Toyota, you know, back in the 2000s, they were cheap vehicles that lasted forever, and now they're expensive vehicles that last forever.
I currently own 2 Hondas. One of the Hondas I've owned that my daughter went through high school and college in is now owned by my neighbor.
Okay.
His son that's his college car. So it's on generation number 2, and it's a 2003 Honda Civic, and it's still running strong.
I mean, you change the time belt, they'll last forever.
Changed timing belt. And I think after 05, might be 06 on a Honda, they went to a timing chain. And I know on the Toyota, I had an 01 Toyota Tacoma, and it had a timing belt. It said the interval was 80,000 miles. I'd take it to 100, and then I'd change it every 100K on the odometer.
Mm-hmm.
And I reluctantly sold that to a young Marine veteran. His name is Connor Ragrazino. So if you're listening, Connor, yeah, I still want my Tacoma back. But before I retire, I'm probably going to get its replacement. Because the wife upgraded her car before I'm within 3.5 years of retirement. She already upgraded her car. I told her, I said, before I retire, I'm going to have another Toyota Tacoma.
Yeah.
She rolled her eyes because she told me I don't have enough cars, which is, again, that's sarcasm.
I don't think you do have enough vehicles. There is still room in the shop for more vehicles.
You're right. There is room.
There's definitely a lot more room. And, you know, I will say, like, talk about how buying vehicles from a dealer and whatnot. It's crazy how, say you buy a brand new Chevy Tahoe off the lot, and you probably spend probably 90, you know, for a new Tahoe. Got some options. You spend 90, and that is viewed more positive in our society standards of buying that vehicle, being in debt for 6 years, compared to say, hey, look at this, I just paid $10,000 for just an easy number, $10,000 for this right here. I bought this vehicle that is 7 years old for $10,000 that has 100,000 miles. I don't have a payment. I paid cash for this. Society's like, oh, they're poor, they can't afford a new vehicle. I don't quite get, I just don't understand, you know.
We don't teach enough, whether it's in high school or college, we don't teach enough economics and understanding of, you might be able to afford that payment for 6 years.
Yes.
But at the end of I remember seeing a Facebook post on this, and I took an engineering class called Economics of Engineering, which is just studying the time value of money. And individual has $10,000 and he could put it down on a car, or he could buy an old car and save the payment.
Uh-huh.
Rather than pay a bank to fund that note for the car. And the difference at the end of 6 years of buying the older car admittedly, you're going to have to maintain it.
Sure.
And that's why you find a good car that doesn't break down much, a Honda or a Toyota. And the difference at the end of 6 years, you pay for that note. You have a 6-year-old car that's worth a third of its value.
If that, yeah.
Yeah. And if you would have bought the older car and even took care of it, changed the oil, changed the trans fluid, changed fluids and brakes and tires like they need to be changed and fix it at the end. And I'm telling you here, folks, at the end, you're going to be probably, what do you think? Ahead.
Oh, you're definitely going to
by
be ahead a bunch.
$30,000.
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
No, no. If you say it's going to be more than that,
Thousands of dollars.
It'd be more than 30 at the end of the. Say if you got a 6-year, you get a 6-year. You buy, say you buy a 7-8-year-old vehicle, 10-year-old vehicle, for fractions on the dollar, and say you buy say you buy a new Tahoe. I was looking at the new Tahoes because Robin liked certain vehicle. I'm looking at it, and you want, it was the Yukon, the Valley, $95,000. And I'm going, first off, no, that was cost what my house cost 13 years ago.
Yeah.
And so the answer to that is no. I love you more than anything, honey, but you are not getting that,
Right.
I mean, it's just, that just doesn't make, to me, that doesn't
Economically, and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And so, but even still, you pay that note off that car for 6 years. If the person even keeps that car for 6 years, in 6 years, you get that. And instead that car's worth a third, you might be able to sell a car for $30,000, but I don't see that you'd even be able to.
If it's a Toyota Tacoma, yeah.
Oh,
I'm looking
Toyota will
market for a 05 to 2015 Toyota Tacoma with low miles. And believe it or not, I can go to Carvana or CarMax, and I can pick up that kind of vehicle for about $30,000.
Yeah.
And they are so highly rated and regarded to keep and retain their value if you take care of them. Rather than doing that loan, if I take $30K and do that loan, if I just buy the vehicle and maintain it, I'd be willing to bet those old Toyota Tacomas 6 years from now will still be worth, even though I'm going to put 8,000 miles a year on it, will still be worth $20K.
You need to go take a look on this land called Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, yeah.
And Toyotas are literally worth their weight in gold.
Yeah. And that's why I'm probably going to have to, so if you're out there and you're listening to this podcast and you have a 2005 to a 2015, so it's Pro Bun, 4-door, 4-wheel drive, and blue, I want it.
I don't know if you're gonna get a low mileage one.
But they're out there. They're out there on Carvana and CarMax. You just have to go, okay, for this purchase, because I want this particular vehicle, I'm just gonna have to buck it up and pay for the dealer to make their profit, or spend enough time and look every day, and then finally find one. Because I've been saving, and I'm close to the end of my career, and the money's in the bank. I could just go buy one, but everybody wants a good deal.
Yes.
So I'm not in a rush. A fool and his money are soon parted. I'm not in a rush to find the vehicle. But if you're out there in podcast land, have that, Tacoma that's just not working for you anymore.
And you just been in the garage for a while. Yeah, I can see it, because it doesn't look like a fresh.
I can give Mike a call because his wife needs the Toyota Tacoma.
Oh God!
I give Smitty a call.
Yeah. I will say, yeah. Robin does not need a Toyota Tacoma, but would I be opposed to getting one? I would not, but
there you go.
It's just crazy how much a Toyota costs now.
I know.
It just blows my mind. It just, but even still, like I was saying, though, it's just crazy how society will put someone who just went in the note upside down crazy, owing $100,000 plus, interest on this vehicle, and they're like, oh, this person got their life together, compared to Joe Schmo, who just put $10,000 down to get a 10-year-old vehicle, paid cash, and he has to keep it up. Okay, but man, 6 years down the road, it's going to be just changed. Like the guy that just bought his vehicle, he doesn't have the chance. Like, say he lost his job. Okay, the person that bought the 10-year-old vehicle, $10,000, in this uncertain times that we live in, he loses his job. Okay, he still owns that vehicle. That's his.
Yep.
That, the person that just bought that other.
And it's
and they
always to get to your next job.
Yes, that's how you get. Yes, for sure. But you have that note and you lose your job,
They're gonna
and all of a
repossess
sudden,
it.
and you're paying $1,800 a month for that, buddy. That is no longer. You didn't own that vehicle. The bank owns that vehicle. I don't care that you done spent 4 years paying this note. You missed it 4 times, buddy. It is mine now.
Yep.
And
I said we need an economics class in high school and college. If you haven't ever taken one, it's so important to understand the economics of money.
I agree 100%. But I think this now it's just so much flash and so much show off, showboat, and doing this. Whereas like it just doesn't even even if they did take an economics class, I don't think it'll do any good. So to most,
Yeah.
To some people, like
People have to be interested.
yes, but you have to make it interesting because
That's the one class in college I got straight A's on, man.
I did good in economics as well. Do I have a lot of money to my name? No,
But you know how to manage it.
I know how to manage car parts, and I know how to manage. I do know how to manage to where I'm going racing, and we're going to manage how to get some really nice stuff, and we're going racing, which is my downfall because that is what I enjoy, and I know how to manage it.
I know.
And by golly, like, should I have some of the stuff I have? Absolutely not. But buddy, we got it, Yes. Oh, so I will say, on the topic of race cars, we are going to have a kind of like a race car event here at Railport Brewing.
Yes.
It is it was going to be scheduled on the 15th, and it has actually changed to help accommodate some people that were going to come out. And it is going to be on the 22nd of November, so the weekend before Thanksgiving.
All right, I'm looking.
Because there's going to be quite a few people that are going to come out, and there was a race that was scheduled. I want to say it was the weekend before Halloween, and it rained.
Yep.
And they ended up having a reschedule, and they do it that, and so we are actually going to have it on the 22nd. Spoofer's Lounge is going to be presenting this event, and it will be Saturday here at Railport. And we're going to have kind of like a meet your local racer type deal. You will meet the infamous, I would say you're going to be able to meet the infamous Little Rob, who's been named on this show more times than not.
AKA Robin.
AKA Robin. She will be here. I don't know if she will have her race car here because she still has not cleaned it. And there is dirt falling out. So every time I'm working on my car, and say if I just brush up against it, there is dirt falling all over the floor from the inside of the car. So I do not know if she will have her vehicle here, but she will be in attendance. And we will have also several others. We might even have Smitty here.
What time's this start, Mike?
I believe that it's going to start around 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. Believe it or not, I get home from Incheon the day, that's be Friday, the day previous, at about, 5 p.m.
Okay.
And then I leave Sunday morning for Honolulu. So I will be here for the 20, and it's the one day between 2 trips.
Okay.
I'll be here.
Excellent.
So we'll see the number 20. Why is it the number 20? Because it's the pit of money.
Yeah.
You just keep throwing $20 bills at it.
And let's hope for the best.
It's running.
Every time you throw 20, you're like, I'm going to hope it does better. Does it always? Don't quite work that way. But you hope.
From the time I bought it to now, where it is now, it is a beat up automobile. But I threw a bunch of 20s at it, and there's a new motor in it.
Yeah.
And when you can take 2/10 off of every lap because of your new motor,
that's good stuff.
that's what happened on my my last finish. I didn't care where I placed. But my last finish, overall time per lap, I took 2/10 off of every lap.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about how you finished. You actually got second that night, right?
I did. That was my best finish ever.
So, yeah, there's no need to talk about you did it,
The motor, I have proven to myself I can totally disassemble a motor. And with the help of Blake Andrus, who's another of our 4-cylinder front-wheel drive racers, he helped me assemble it properly because there's a couple things my reassembly coach may have screwed up and we had to fix.
I don't believe that one bit,
Yeah.
but I'm listening.
But we got it. We got the piston tie rod ends incorrectly based on a certain part of the piston tie rod needed to face the exhaust manifold. We got those incorrectly. We got the I already had the head on. We had to untorque the head and fix all that. We did. And then when I pulled the old motor out and put the new motor in, Blake was there again. God bless you, Blake. You rock. And thanks for all your help.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah.
So we get to see this, the Smitty Pit of Money, so meet your guy that behind the podcast.
Yeah.
I will have mine here as well. And
Mike has, you might think that Mr. Colaluca would have a sprint car, but he has something now that would go a little bit faster.
God, I hope it does. If it doesn't, I mean, I'm not going to say I'm going to be on suicide watch, but I'm going to hope the guy sure does, because there's been a lot of work that gone onto it. My father has helped me so much, and I've had a couple other buddies that come by and help me all the time. And gosh, I have one friend, and he comes out at least every weekend. He comes out. We work on this thing all the time. He's been coming by after work. We totally redone. So in 1 year, on Thanksgiving weekend, it'll be exactly 1 year that we drove to Tampa to buy this thing. And we brought it back, totally disassembled it, totally ripped apart my trailer, rebuilt this whole trailer.
Built the whole trailer, saw a picture today.
And yes, that's finally done. And then now, on top of that, we have totally rebuilt this car as well. And now we're down to like 2 pieces left, and we're going to go out running,
For those who are not familiar with Mike Colaluca's new car, it is a dragster.
Yes.
That is approximately how many feet long?
Let's see. It's right under 20 feet long. It's 235 inches wheelbase, so right under 20 feet long.
And this very small V8 engine in it produces how many horsepower?
Gosh, you're gonna make me put a number on it.
Approximately.
It was under 900, and
weighs about how?
It weighs the minimum weight in this one it's 1435 with me in the car.
Pounds with approximately 900 horsepower. Should be able to do are you doing an eighth or a quarter mile?
Well, probably here testing we'll do quarter, and it should do, if it doesn't go into 430, 440 second range.
4 seconds.
Yeah. We're gonna go. Yeah, so you figure mid fours, eighth mile. Mid
Mid-fours,
fours, eighth mile.
Okay.
Quarter mile, we're gonna go right under. Or should be shooting right under the 7s.
Yeah.
At close to 200.
Yeah.
So that's fun,
And how many passes? We'll just say training passes will you make before you finally get in front of a Christmas tree?
Oh no, it's right off the rip. It's right off the rip. That's so different in drag racing compared to dirt.
Right.
Is that we have to actually, in drag racing, you have to pass a license test.
Right.
Get your physical, get all this stuff so that you're able to do it. You don't have that in dirt track. I mean, you have a guy show up in a flight suit to go.
And old boots.
An old boot.
No.
I mean, you have a guy like said wearing a...
People running going, hey, is he doing that again?
That's right. That is correct. That is correct. So, Smitty the pilot, we were talking before we did the podcast about the fun stuff you see in the sky. And in the last podcast, we were talking about some conspiracy theories.
Yes.
And I'm going to just say right off the rip, I love the story of aliens. Okay. And I have actually been, it's gonna sound strange, but I've been reading some stuff online. It was a book that was written. It was called "The Fingerprints of the Gods," and I know you're an extremely religious person, but it's a pretty good story about, it's called Fingerprints of the Gods, but it talks about like ancient aliens type stuff, something like that. But you are actually seeing stuff firsthand.
Yes.
Flying across the Atlantic, correct? Or actually flying east, so I should say, correct? So whether it's Pacific going east or, leaving the homeland going east or whatnot. So
what I've witnessed in the nighttime sky, April April of 2025 with the family. If you've never looked up and seen Starlink, which is you're basically seeing the reflection from the sun off the Starlink satellites, and we saw a line of about 10 to 12 of them, all in a line, all go in the same direction. We were out in Bluffdale, Texas, which is kind of the middle of nowhere, very dark night sky, and we see them all in a line going kind of, I'm going to guess here, southwest to northeast.
Okay.
All right. So I've seen Starlink, and everyone saw it. We were around the campfire. Everyone was looking up, and it was 10 dots equally spaced and ran right across the sky. That was super cool. So the other things I've seen, when I leave, if I leave the U.S. for Europe, they're typically all-nighters. Or if I leave Asia for the USA, we're typically flying east, and they're all-nighters, and the commonality is we're flying to the east.
Yes.
So what I've seen and what I've shown other pilots, and other pilots have seen it, in the eastern sky, depending upon time of year, you'll see the constellation Orion come up. And north of the constellation Orion, which is in the eastern hemisphere as our planet runs around, to the north of that, I've seen and witnessed lights in the sky, multiple lights that have done a repetitive pattern or even a non-repetitive pattern where the light will move. And so if I were to put a ruler up against the windshield,
Mm-hmm.
I'd see a light move about 6 inches in one direction, stop. Move about 6 inches in another direction, stop. And start on a totally different direction and disappear. So I've seen, and it's not just one light. I've watched for 10 minutes while I've been at cruise at 35,000 feet where it's unobstructed view of the stars.
Sure.
And I've seen lights. They're not in a specific pattern, but they're in a specific area, and they're moving, they're stopping, they're moving a different direction, they're stopping again and moving a different direction, and sometimes they appear and disappear or reappear. So I don't know what I'm seeing, whether it's a reflection from the sun hitting an object, a spacecraft, a satellite. I don't know what it is.
Well, I mean,
I've seen it.
the sun hitting a spacecraft or something like that. But that's just a boring. We don't want to talk. Could that probably is that, as my friend Sean was saying, is that because we were talking about some alien stuff today, because I tell you, I've done jumped in the rabbit hole both feet, like it's bad, and it's probably not healthy at all. But he was telling me, like, man, the answer to probably a lot of this is probably something super boring, like satellites or something like that. There's half a guess where 50% of me is it's a military satellite and they're maneuvering it. But then again, like, how can a satellite change direction? It can't really just, like, cause if it's orbiting the Earth,
right,
it can't stop and move a different direction because it'll get pulled to the Earth super fast.
They can. There's an unlimited amount of we'll say fuel that every satellite has to change trajectory.
Sure.
And they like to keep the tank full in case of emergencies. So to see a movement and a stop and another movement in different direction and a stop and another movement in the third direction, well, that doesn't make any sense at all to conserve the amount of fuel you have on a satellite.
Correct. No, that would not make sense at all, because if you're trying to conserve fuel, if it's rotating, it's going to take a lot of fuel to stop the rotation.
Exactly.
Or, the rotation,
relative rotation to the Earth.
Correct.
And
to stop that, go to a different direction, and then stop. Because if it's stopping, it's actually falling towards the Earth. Because when I took my astrophysics class, is that there is a spot around the Earth, that you can actually rotate, and the gravitational pull will not pull, it'll keep it in place. I mean, that's where everything stays.
Right.
So if you go to, so you're going around and it's not. So if you stop, it will actually start pulling it towards the Earth
Due to gravitation.
due to gravitational pull. And then it's going to take a lot of force to stop that speed.
Yep.
To go to that, go to a different direction, and then once again go down
Third direction.
the third direction to disappear and to start revolving around the Earth again.
Sure.
That's a lot of fuel. That's a lot of energy.
And so we agree that it's probably not that because it's a waste of the energy and that the satellite has to maneuver to keep itself in orbit.
That is, I will agree with you on that. So that's going to be way too much effort for something like that.
Right.
I would say.
So what is it out there in what is it? Yeah, what that?
I mean, I'm going to, it'd be so cool to say, hey, we are being watched. We are.
I certainly are.
I mean, it'd be so cool to say that. Just say something up for a little bit,
I'm kind of sure we are.
So if you ever, is there like a military, because you've been in the military, you fly and everything. Is there a certain SOP that you would follow if you did like, hey, there's like a saucer in front of me right now?
While I was in all the way up to 2010, and I flew a business jet that would go to 50,000 feet.
Okay.
We had nothing in our, this was over Afghanistan.
Sure.
We were bridging communications for ground troops. We had nothing in our standard operating procedures as far as operational guidance to report it or how to report it.
Really?
There was nothing there. We had, and so in our pubs at the time up to 2010, we had nothing.
So you just get on the radio and be like, but I think there's an alien in front of me.
Yeah.
Like there's a saucer in front of me. It's going to call it a UFO. There's an alien.
Get your camera out quick.
I'm going to call him Jeff.
Or Sigourney.
That'll work as well, That will work as well. Absolutely.
I think what's more appropriate to today's, what's going on today, at least on our planet and sci-fi, I think artificial intelligence, if you've ever watched Arnold Schwarzenegger or The Terminator.
Yes.
We have the beginnings of artificial intelligence going on, when they talk about Cyberdyne and the machine. Hey, this is a shout out to you, K. Mike Wood. He was always afraid that Cyberdyne was going to take control.
Yes, and then also, you have the Matrix.
Yeah.
And where AI took over humanity.
Yeah.
And that's wild times right there, brother.
Yeah.
That's man. That's man. That might the AI stuff, that might have to be another story for another day on that.
One day.
Because we're on the alien kick right now.
All right.
And so would you consider yourself like a history buff?
I like it, but my gray matter upstairs is, I like history.
Okay.
Like I said, what I can retain is, if I use it, I'll retain it. If I don't use it, I'll lose it.
Okay. Cause I've been, and I'm sure me falling to sleep watching Ancient Aliens has totally ruined me.
Angela watches that all the time.
Great show.
Yeah.
Great show, but I'm sure me watching that to help fall asleep has definitely played tricks with my brain here for the past month. And by the aliens, like, so we're gonna take it back just for a second. So talking about like World War II. Okay. And there is this continent in the world called Antarctica.
Yes.
And that's a whole other, we're just gonna keep this simple. We're gonna talk about World War II time. So in the beginning of World War II, Germany just invaded Poland, wiped Poland out.
Right.
There was this gentleman by the name of Adolf Hitler goes to Antarctica all of a sudden.
Okay. I didn't even know that.
Oh, no?
Yeah.
Oh, sir, you need to do you a Google search on that one?
Well, I mean, I watched the History Channel,
and
a lot of people call it, at least in its infancy, instead of the History Channel, it would be called the Hitler Channel.
Yeah. Oh, because it's nothing but World War II.
All they did was do World War II stuff. So anyway, I never saw the episode where Hitler went to Antarctica.
Yes. So Hitler actually, and it's documented that, Hitler went to Antarctica right after the Poland invasion.
Okay.
So you got to think, you're in the middle of a war now. You invaded Poland.
You're right.
You done managed to make Europe upset, but essentially the world upset at you.
Sure.
Minus Japan and Italy, because they were like,
Yeah.
even the Italians were like, we don't like Poland.
On their own ball game.
Yeah, they had their own stuff going on. But yeah, so you had two of the countries that liked you. The other ones, you're a bad guy. But instead of him like progressing towards, hey, because he wanted world domination, he wanted everything. Why would you leave your first victory and go to Antarctica? Unless there was something there. And if there's this thing called Project High Jump, when the United States went in after World War II. And it was a total disaster. There was people died there. There was rumors of a Nazi fort that was built underground, as well as pyramids underground. It's if you get a chance to read about Antarctica,
okay,
it is about the most wildest thing you've ever seen.
As a matter of fact, I happened to pull up on my portable brain while you were talking.
Okay.
Warhistoryonline.com is my source.
Okay.
A secret Nazi superfortress in Antarctica. Fact or fiction? Norway's main research station, Troll, in Queen Maud Land, and it's showing a picture of. So I'm going to keep reading this while you keep telling me about it.
Okay. So they have, they're in the Operation High Jump, which is after World War II.
Okay.
Tons of reports of flying saucers. Tons of reports of, glowing lights under the ice. And my whole deal is like, okay, if take like nowadays we have President Trump, okay? Say if say the United States ended up going to a war against someone in the Middle East, like, we're talking like Bush type stuff, We go after Iran, okay?
Right.
And say we go after Iran and we conquer Iran. It is now United States territory.
Okay.
Do you think for a split second Trump would leave Washington, D.C. and go to Antarctica? And you couldn't fly there then. It was a 30-day boat ride there.
Right.
So a 60-day round trip to go to this frozen wasteland, and you're in the middle of a war. I'm just throwing that out there. I mean, like.
Probably not. So, and we are talking conspiracy theory here, so I'm going to read you what I'm reading.
Okay.
The original theory, in quotes, was proposed in 1947 by a gentleman by the name of Szabo, last name, a Hungarian exile in Argentina. He claimed that Hitler survived the war and that U-boats that docked in Argentina after the war had first dropped him off at a secret Nazi base. He proposed that the Schwabeinland, German ship that sailed to Antarctica in 1938, had set up a base there. British and American military action in the area fed the conspiracy theories. And when the United States detonated 3 nuclear bombs in the area in the 50s, and we just talked about that, bombs,
sure,
speculation ran wild. Surprisingly, many of the events described in the story were real, even if the Nazi base was not. I'll stop there.
I mean, it makes you think, though, right?
Yeah.
And there has been, speaking of the term of aliens, there's been people reporting pyramids that are found in Antarctica.
Okay.
Now, of course, there's a lot of ice, there's a lot of everything going on, but there's pyramids. Like, if you look somewhere, you see a perfectly square structure. Wind, erosion, stuff like that, it isn't going to make where it actually faces all 4 sides perfect. I know that stuff happens. I know crazy stuff happens in nature.
Right.
But whenever you have a certain point facing exactly north, east, south, and west,
right?
I mean, come on, like you can only do so much, like. And I'm not the one that's fighting this. I'm just a guy reading, and you're going, hey, God, come on now, like, let's think about this just for a second,
There's a research facility from Norway down there. I'm flipping through this, and you get pictures of warships, helicopters.
Oh, if you get time, research Operation High Jump, which was the U.S. that I want to say it was 4,000 troops that went to Antarctica right after World War II for training exercises in the cold. What in the hell are you going to do in the cold? Are you going to go after Serbia? I mean, like, come on, like. So they for training exercise, and there's people that died, but there's so many reports of flying saucers, glowing stuff in the snow, and I'm sure there might be something similar, like whenever you go to the North Pole, you got the solar, or was it the Northern Lights? I'm sure in the South you might have something crazy as well, but whenever you got like, hey, there's stuff glowing under the snow here, like, can we look at that? And they say no. I mean, like, I'm just saying here, like, there's.
I don't know either.
Antarctica can go, like, I can go for hours about Antarctica. I told you that earlier today. Whenever I text you, like, if you want to know about a good conspiracy, look up Antarctica. Because plus, on top of that, I'm going to give it just like small, because I know we've been doing this for over an hour now.
Sure.
So, like, there is actually.
You got no 15 minutes easy.
So there is a map that was created in the 1500s. So I don't know exactly, but it's like 50 years after Columbus founded America.
Right.
There was a don't fact check me on this one, but you can look it up and you can but 1500s map of Antarctica, where this gentleman actually mapped out all of Antarctica, and it wasn't under ice. He had mountain ranges. He had rivers made. He made a map, perfect outline of Antarctica.
It was the summer.
Right. It was the summer. It was the summer of the South Pole.
Summer of the South Pole.
But he had the mountain ranges, on the eastern side. He had rivers made up. He had all this stuff, and you're going, how did this guy know this? How can this guy know that there's all this stuff if it was under ice?
We don't know if it was.
It was green when he did the map. And then how's he going, like, if it's under ice, how you going to know that there's mountain ranges? And so my theory is that was an event. There was an advanced civilization there in Antarctica at one time that is now under ice. However, that could be what they considered the lost city of Atlantis.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I might be out there, which I probably am.
Yeah, he probably is.
Robin tells me
it's the lost city of the penguins.
I mean, the penguins take over. Like them dudes. I don't know if I got to a fight with a penguin.
I know.
I would probably lose, but they would know that they got in a fight.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I just looked it up, and I had no idea there was so much speculation on what happened in Antarctica.
You will spend weeks like I have, sir, and I have just brushed the surface.
Yeah.
If you want to, I know you do a lot of flying. If you're the odd guy out flying that time, and you're just the co-pilot or whatever, or you're the guy in the bunk, you need to kill about 3 days.
Yep.
But that, man, let me tell you, like, there's a lot of stuff.
All right.
Okay. Now I'm just okay. And so I'm going to briefly touch on this stuff that I've been reading about. It's called Fingerprints of the Gods. Okay.
Haven't heard of this.
Really interesting stuff, okay? And this is just me thinking outside the box. And keep in mind, I grew up incredibly Catholic. And I do believe there is something out there, like, regarding all of what everything's based off of. Okay, I 100% do. I mean,
I'm
90%
sure.
Yes, and so I do believe that I want to believe that there is an afterlife. I want to believe that there is all this stuff. I mean, I want to believe that 100%. I'm not gonna. I mean, do they say that you die and your soul goes to heaven? Whoever wrote that probably does more than I do. Do I want to believe that more than anything? Absolutely, because I don't want to believe that.
Faith.
Yes, that is faith. I don't want to believe that whenever I die, I go in this box and it's over.
Right.
I don't want to believe. I don't believe. I mean, no, but I believe there's your soul. There is a soul. There people have even measured people that have died, and whenever you die, there is your body loses weight, and that is, they're saying that your soul leaving your body.
Yep.
I believe that. And I do believe that. Now, going off of stuff that I have read, and it's just kind of like fun. I'm not gonna say it's what I hold true to my heart, but like say like they're talking about, God of all the heavens and this and that. He created Earth. He did that. What if? Okay, we're having fun here. Okay, what if that was an extraterrestrial?
But he did.
Could that be possible?
Sure. I mean, the Bible is a compilation of what we know as humans.
Yes.
And the fact, if people disagree that an individual by the name of Christ did not walk on this earth,
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe they're correct. I think an individual by the name of Christ walked on this earth approximately 2,000 years ago, and it was fully documented.
Yes.
In one of the bestsellers of the world.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
nobody questions it.
Yes.
And the things that he did, that was part of the biggest thing for me that was faith-based was, did an individual named Christ was he really born, and did he walk on this earth and perform all these miracles? And I believe, which is called faith, that he did.
Yes.
No one contests that he did not walk on this earth. If you do, you're not reading history. He walked on this earth, and the miracles that he did, he predicted what he was going to do.
He told you what he was going to do.
People predicted what he was going to do. He did what he said he was going to do, not in the same language that people could understand at the time.
Uh-huh.
And now after researching from the Old Testament to the New Testament, his teachings, there's no doubt in my mind that he walked on this earth. Could the supreme being, we'll just call it God,
Sure.
have made, when he said he made the planets and he made everything, is everything what we know about it, the earth and then multiple planets, or is there more out there that we don't know? I always believe that there's way more stuff than we know and understand as humans.
Oh, I will agree with that. If you just look at, just off of that, if you look at the math, okay, the universe, billions of years old, because they can just go by telling just by pointing at a certain light direction, that is certain, because you're going to go so far. If it expands, you're going to go so far.
Right.
Billions of years old. There's billions of galaxies. On top of that, each galaxy has billions of stars. And each star has planets.
Sure.
There's just, out of sheer dumb luck of odds, there's no way we can be alone. I'm just saying. That could just say,
I agree with you. I think there's a very good possibility something else is out there.
I'm gonna. Well, we might. Do I think we're ever gonna see it? No, I don't think so. But
Maybe not in our lifetime.
How cool would it be to say, like, say we go to the moon, Europa, and we find that there is life under that ocean, under that ice inside the ocean. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do I think it might shake up a lot of religions? I do agree with, I think there's more life here, but.
Right.
But I do believe that there was a being that did say, hey, we're creating life. And they said it was created in 7 days, but 7 days to that, say God, 7 days, God could definitely be a very long time period,
Sure.
And speaking of the heavens and the moon, well, there's a whole other conspiracy theory about the moon getting put there, but that's another story for another day as well, because the moon also might be hollow and might be a base. But we got to go on that one, because we won't have enough time. And these listeners probably will be like, this guy's done lost his damn mind, you know. Oh, I dropped the, yeah, I dropped the first curse word. I did not mean to. So I am sorry, Ollie.
I didn't catch it.
I'm sorry, Ollie. You know what, Ollie?
Ollie's never heard me curse in the shop.
Has he not?
Bullshit.
I don't believe. Okay. But, you know, it was kind of reading some stuff, you know. So if you ever watch, or if you ever get time to read, it's a book called Fingerprints of the Gods. And it's not debunking religion or anything. It was like, hey, like, you know, hey, you have this, do have a being. And it's talking about people coming from the angels coming from the heavens and whatnot. You're going, that might have been the only way they could have described it during that time, because that's all they would have known.
Right.
So I think, I mean, kind of neat to think about something like that, you know. I mean, for me it is, you know. And like, what was it? You will know more than I will. But I think it was Gabriel who talked about a flaming chariot come from the sky.
Actually, Mike, I don't know.
Okay.
Because I don't study the Bible that hard.
Okay.
I'll tell you what type of Christian I am. There were 10 rules that were written in the Old Testament.
Uh-huh.
There were 10 rules that were written in the New Testament. They happen to be the same 10 rules. And I'm very keep it simple, stupid. And if I try to follow those 10 rules in however I deal with everyday life, I'm okay. I don't need to, I already believe.
Okay.
So as far as my biblical knowledge, you know, New Testament, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts. Yeah, those are the first 5 books. Genesis is the first of the Old Testament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus.
They get the whole Revelation thing at the very end, you know.
Yeah,
That
Revelation at the end. So but I'm not a scholar.
Okay. I want to say it was Gabriel, and talked about a flaming chariot coming from the sky. And it was, even though Robin told me not to bring this up to you, I'm going to anyways. And by the way, Robin, who has refused to be on this podcast, has now graced us, and hopefully she just changes her mind on joining the podcast. I think she needs to join this. I think she needs to be on episode one day. What do you think, Smitty?
Well, I think Robin then needs to take the mic and start to ask you questions.
You know, I can see that. How a
could be bad.
That might be bad.
I don't know if that's good.
Well,
bad,
you know,
but
Easy questions. Easy questions.
right. But I want to I'll say, so you talk about Gabriel. I want to say the gentleman also built I want to call it a housing for this as well, but he talks about a flaming chariot come from the sky.
Okay.
And if you think about it, you think about, you know,
That could be a meteor.
it could be, but say we take it back 2,500 years ago.
Right.
There's probably not a whole lot more of a description the guy could make.
Right.
But it's just like, if there is if there was a UFO come from the sky, and you see somebody landing, you see this golden chariot, well, that's the only way he's going to be able to describe. He doesn't know what a UFO is. He doesn't know a saucer. He doesn't know a spaceship.
Right.
I mean,
He hasn't seen Star Trek.
he has not seen Star Trek or Star Wars. And he has definitely not seen the movie Apollo 13.
That's right. Exactly. Apollo 13.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is,
Or Spaceballs, for that matter.
or for that matter, you are correct, sir.
One of my favorites.
So I will say, so on the last episode we had here I had Rodney on the show, did a little uncut, uncensored, unfiltered type deal, you know, and I happened to have a bottle of this liquid called Jameson,
Right.
that came from Ireland.
Yes.
Rodney apparently had a little bit too much fun that episode, and I am now empty on Jameson.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to have to send a request whenever you go back to Ireland.
Ireland?
I might have to give you a couple of dollars to get some more Jameson, because, like I said, Rodney had a lot of fun that episode, and I don't know if you listened to it, but you could tell.
I did listen to it.
Towards the end, you could tell he had his friend Jameson in his hand, and I'm going, man, my bottle's empty now. Like I did so good keeping this for over a year, and it died in one day.
Well, speaking of that, and we're at about the 1 hour and 20 minute, and I'm gonna close with a yes, I will, from the man who's half Irish.
Okay.
And just to let all of you know out there in
in
Podcast. Lane.
podcast land.
Yes.
About a year ago, the federal government deemed the law in Texas that you could not distill your own spirits unconstitutional.
Yes.
So now there are Texas lawmakers. So there's federal law and there's state law. The Fed said it's unconstitutional. The Texas law at the time was you cannot distill your own in your own house. And that's about to change, hopefully, with 2278, House Bill 2278, which will allow people everywhere in podcast land, if you make beer, wine, or hopefully distilled spirits, you can now do them for your own enjoyment at your own house. And Rodney could possibly make his own distilled spirits and call them, well, I don't know. For me, since I'm an Irishman, I'd call it an Irish whiskey.
Yeah.
And Rodney could potentially call it a, let's see, we can tap off of his, he is the man.
The most interesting whiskey in Ellis County.
In Ellis County.
Yes. We could definitely do that.
So, Rodney, there's your challenge, man.
There it is.
When the law changes, you could be the most interesting man and gift you cannot sell.
No, you cannot sell. Just like a home brew, like you're making your home. You can make your home beer, your home brew, your own beer, but you cannot sell it. And wine, but you cannot sell it.
You can gift it. And you could be the most interesting man in Ellis County to gift some of the
distilled spirits.
Distilled spirits.
You know, I can even see his logo even have like a mullet on it, you know? Like with a parachute on it. And I'm right on, man. You know, heck yeah.
He could parachute in, with a keg, and you never know what's in the keg.
Never know.
It could be one of the three it could be beer, wine, or spirit.
Might even be water, knowing him.
Could be water.
There's no telling. All right. Well, man, Smitty, thank you for being on the show. It's always a pleasure having you on it, man. We gotta do this some more. I know, I have the Bittersweet Bakery Girls gonna be on next week.
Okay.
So that's gonna be exciting. I'm
gonna listen to it.
I mean, I'm a sucker for sweets. I'm just gonna say, like, whenever my wife makes or Robin makes cookies or whatever, they're gone the same day. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, she'll go cook a dozen cookies.
Speaking of cookies.
And it's gone immediately. Oh, you're digging out of your goodie box that you brought here.
Well, yeah. At our church fundraiser called the Lord's Acre.
Yeah.
She bought a goodie basket with some cookies. So as we sign off here.
Oh, we're gonna eat a cookie.
We're gonna sign off
But thanks to Angela here.
Yeah.
Sweet lady, by the way, that actually is
a snickerdoodle.
Oh man, she knows the
little cinnamon.
Oh, that's good stuff. That is good stuff. So when you see Angela tonight, tell her that thank you from the bottom of my heart.
All right, I'll do it.
All right, well, Smitty, we gotta do it again. Definitely, we'll do some more conspiracy theories coming up.
Conspiracy theories.
It seems to be a hit here lately. And we'll try here in a couple of weeks. I got the Bittersweet Bakery Girls coming up next week. And yeah, we'll do it again, man.
Till next time.
Thank you very much, sir.